Funding for this program provided in part by the Sanibel Captiva Chamber of Commerce and by the South Seas Plantation.
Oh, Bob Fagan, you're the greatest painter in the whole world. And you're kind of cute, too. Boy, you're really cute. Yeah, you can really paint.
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm Bob Fagan. Welcome to Painting on Location. Today we're going to be painting close to these parrots, so sit back. This ought to be a blast.
Yeah, Bob Fagan, you can really paint. You're really good. Yeah.
Well, we found a pretty little spot here to paint. Isn't this great? We were kind of driving along searching for different marinas, and we found this one, and I decided to paint this. I thought there was very interesting colors over there. I'm not sure what it is. It's kind of a peach color up in there. So I'm going to get a little bit of this alizarin crimson and some of this other red I have here. Let's put some yellow in that. See if I can come up with that color, because I want to paint that first. I probably won't be able to get it exactly, but I'll try to come close. Well, let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and just paint that color. I'll start in here and here. I want to paint around that window there. That has some white on it. Now, the sun's going to be moving, and this is, these shadows are going to be changing, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint this for now and add all that stuff later. A little more yellow in that. That's kind of a strange color. I'm not sure what that is. Kind of simulate it. And then that goes back into there. And then it's down here. Kind of gets lost in the shade back in there. And back under here in a few spots. Back down this way. And all this in here. More yellow in that. It's an interesting boat just came in. It had a some kind of a bird on the back. I guess that's one of the passengers waiting for a free meal. All right, now I'm going to paint that roof in. I'm going to get some blue here. I think this is cobalt. And mix a little bit of yellow with that. See if I can simulate the color of that roof over there. Of course, whenever the sun shines on it, it looks different than when it's in the shade. Let's try some of this. And then in here. Back here. And in here. I'm going to paint around those letters up there, that Pelican's Roost. A little yellow in that. Yeah, it's kind of close. When I come back later and put shadows on that, that should make more sense, I hope. All right. Now what I think I want to do is start on the sky. I'm going to try painting some of those clouds up there too. Very light blue wash here. That'll be my clouds. Something kind of like that. Now what I'm going to do is come back with some of this phthalo blue. I'm going to paint around some of that wash there and then let my brush touch it so it'll kind of blend. Back down here, right into those trees. Yeah, I've just got some water here. I'm just kind of spreading all this out right now. Right down into there. All right. Now I'm going to get into some of the green over here in the trees in the background. So I've already got some blue in my palette. I'm going to reach in and get some yellow. And I'll get a little bit more blue. All right, let's paint some of those trees now. I'll be coming back into this area later. Right now, I just want to paint the big shapes. Put some blue in there. Some yellow over in here. Right up to that house there. Something like that. Big shapes. All right, I'll tell you what I think I want to do right now is I'm going to let all this dry, and that way I can come back without worrying about getting into wet areas and start putting in some more details. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, this is all pretty well dry right now, and the sun is out right at the moment. These clouds keep kind of getting in front of the sun, so it changes the way that whole thing looks. What I want to do while the sun is out is put the shadows in. So I'm mixing up a blue wash here, and I'm going to paint all of this shadowed area here, plus the shadow that comes up underneath the eaves of that house over there. Let's try this and see if this works. There, back here. And there's just a bunch of shadows down in there. All right, then back over here. This is all in the shade back here too. Let's paint right over that window because that's in the shade also. And then I'm going to put a shadow on this roof back here. Now that's probably going to change. By the time I get through, it will have moved. but I'm going to put it right here for now. And let's see, we have some palm leaf shadows over here too on this roof. I kind of like that, so I'm going to put those in. Something like that. Right in there. And then we have, now when I first came here, there was a shadow just right across there. I like the way that looks, so I'm going to keep that and not put the shadow where it is actually right now. I'm just going to put it right down in here. Something like that. And I'll put a couple of streaks across there like it's picking up shadows from palm leaves or whatever. Now all of this down in here, this area right in here is in the shade too. Now that whole store over there, I think it's a bait shop and you can buy tackle and fishing supplies in there. This area right back in here, there are parrots back in there. And I guess you can buy those and go out and catch parrotfish with those. I'm just kidding. All right, some of that there, and then I'm gonna get some burnt sienna. Put some of that in there. I need a shadow in there. So I love to get out and paint like this. It just makes me feel good. The painting actually doesn't matter that much. It's just, it's the process that I like. All right, I'm painting all this shadowed area here. This is all in the shade now. Put some color in there, maybe some yellow, maybe some burnt sienna. All the way back down here. This is all in the shade. In the afternoon like this, that sun moves pretty quickly, so you can't spend a lot of time in one area. All right, now I'm going to start on the water. So I'm going to mix up some burnt sienna, some yellow, and some blue. It's a big old gob of wash here. And then I'm going to paint that in there. Right in here. And then as it gets down this way, we start picking up light. So I'll put that in. Now I'm into just water here. Kind of spread that out. Now while that's wet, I'm going to come back up in there again with some burnt sienna and some yellow, some blue, and really paint some dark in there so that that'll make reflections in that water. Kind of paint vertically this time. Well, this part over here is in the sun. So I'll leave a little streak of white there. Make that real dark. Now when that dries, I'll come back and put some more wavy lines in there, and that should look like water. All right, I'll tell you what I want to do right now is I'm going to let all this dry and come back in a few minutes. In the meantime, let's take a look over at this place. It's called C.R.O.W. It's Care and Rehabilitation of Animals, C.R.O.W., wildlife. Anyway, they work on wounded animals here on the island. It's really something to see. Take a look. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Hi,
Finally
Bob.
glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So what do you got going on here? What is this all about?
Well, C.R.O.W. Is a wildlife hospital. It stands for Care and Rehabilitation of Wildlife, and we work completely on native and migratory wildlife. Okay, it's found at the Shell Museum in Sanibel. We get so many of these birds in that it's just routine as far as our workup. 2 pounds, 12 ounces. That could be worse. Okay, this cage here has 3 osprey in it. Now this is a native Florida species. All 3 of them actually have fractures of the wing that are so severe the wings had to be amputated. They're so dependent on the feathers that grow from the tip of the wing that they're all completely grounded now. They can't even get so much as 3 or 4 inches off the ground. It's hot. It's really hot. I might just cool them down with the bed. They have, it's called vestibular disease, what they have, and it affects part of the brain that controls balance, and a lot of them come in with nystagmus, which their eyes are going back and forth like this. That's a severe form which this one has. They've lost their sense of balance, they're incoordinated. Hey Bob, this little bird here it's called an American kestrel, and they're a innate species. They're actually a raptor or a bird of prey. This bird actually came to us 10 days ago, and believe it or not, it had been found by a couple alongside the road, and they had kept it for 10 days. It had a very bad fracture of the humerus, which is this long bone right here. So we anesthetized it, we rebroke that bone and aligned it properly and put a little pin in. And that was just 10 days ago. The pin came out today. These birds are so small and their metabolism is so incredibly fast that they heal. Mouth and look for monofilament line. This bird has about a 50% chance because it's pretty severely affected with the nystagmus. It's not standing. A lot of the ones that we get in, when they come in, they are incoordinated and they have no sense of balance, but they're walking, and this one is not really. This is a group of brown pelicans and the double-crested cormorant. This is Carol.
Hi, Carol.
How do you do? She feeds the pelicans at this time of day. As you can see, they're all pretty excited about it.
What's the story on some of these?
Well, most of the brown pelicans that have come in have, in one way or another, been injured at fishing piers. They either get tangled in the monofilament line or they swallow the fish hooks down. Sometimes we'll get a bird in with 6, 7 fish hooks in its skin and muscle and in a couple in its belly. And these are obviously veterans of fishing piers, and they're attracted to the fishing piers because people will feed them there. And before long, their behavior is totally modified, and they see people as a source of food, and they're no longer afraid. So we've gotten in quite a few that have had the top of their beak deliberately broken off by people.
Yeah.
Exactly. They see them as a nuisance. They're always stealing their bait. So eventually people will lash out, and since they've lost their fear of people, they're an easy catch. Our mission is mainly to reduce the impact that man has on the environment. The animals that we routinely see at C.R.O.W. are animals that have been hit by car or caught in fishing line. We're not here to make sure that all wild animals survive. We're here to reduce the impact that mankind has. And I can honestly say between 90 and 95% of the injuries that we see are directly caused in one way or another through human development or human interaction. So that's why we're here.
All right, we are back, and that was real interesting. I wanted to show you what was attached to one of the legs on the cameras, one of the tripods. It's a little starfish there. I think it wants to go back to Michigan with us. Isn't that pretty? I think I'll put him back in the water. Go someplace. I don't know if it's right side up or upside down. All right. Right now what I want to do is get into some of these palm trees here. I'll start out with a little burnt sienna, make the line there. There's one there, there's one over here. And let's see, there's one over here. And there's some right in here. Add a little blue to that. Bring that right off the page like that. And there's one back here. Now I'm gonna jump into the yellow and some blue, and we'll make some make the stem of the palm like that, and one over here, and then I'm just gonna start doing this. So you can get some yellow. Just nice and casual. Don't have to do every one of them, just shaky lines like that. All right, get some blue. Some yellow. And then there's one that comes down this way. All right. Now let me show you another way you can make those palm trees. You can use this is a flat brush. All right, see if I can do it this way. Now this is kind of fun to do. You take your brush like this and you stick it straight down on the paper, and then you start spreading it out like that and make a little streak like that. Kind of flip the brush. You kind of get the same results. Takes a little bit of practice. Back over here. See that? Isn't that fun? And let's see, there's another one here. Some blue in there. You can also use the chiseled edge of this brush too to come back in there and make some of those shapes. You want it kind of loose, without a lot of detail, just big shapes in there. A little burnt sienna in that. Boy, it's sure a pretty place to paint. More shapes. Now I need to get in here and put some waves, some more waves in this water. Well, a few wiggly lines in here. All the way here. So you can keep going back into these paintings if you haven't gotten too dark at first. See that? Just holding my brush horizontal, making lines like that. Whoa. I don't know if you can hear this noise or not, but the tide's coming in. When I first started out here, I was standing on dry land, so that's the other thing you deal with in Florida, is you got a little bit of a tide. Feels good on my feet, though. A little more blue in there. Now I've got to make the sign. Now that's right up here. Let me paint the shape of the sign first. It's kind of round on both ends. Now when I first started, I saved that white area in there, and that's what this is for, so I can paint those letters in. Right in there. It's not exactly the same color, but it's close enough. All right, Pelican's Roost. P-E-L-I-C-A-N-S. I'm running out of room. R-O-O-S-T. Well, I came close. Now let me show you what I'm doing here. I put up that many squares so that I could put those letters in. All right, there's a P, E, L, I's already made, C, A-N-S, A-N-S, R-O-O-S-T. Pelican's Roost. What a pretty spot this is. Had a lot of fun today. I think the crews had a lot of fun today, too. There's water's coming in. We had some technical difficulties, and now there's bugs. And I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but every once in a while you'll hear, you know, and then scratch and jump around and stuff like that. So they're getting kind of itchy for me to finish. So I think I'm going to call it quits here. Now we're on to the next place, and I don't have any idea where that is. So until I see you then, I'm Bob Fagan. We've been painting on location.
This program is available on video for just $17.95 or $179.95 for the whole 13-part Sanibel Captiva series. Also, Bob has produced 3 one-hour instructional videos on the art of watercolor painting. Each one is available for $19.95 or $36.95 for your choice of 2, or all 3 for $54.95. Call 1-800-353-2232 to order.
I'm going to go ahead and just paint that color first, and then I'll come back and add the shadows and everything else next. Well, I don't think I've ever done that. Well, I came up and I hit this clip here, and the brush flipped out of my hand, hit me in the mouth, and bounced on the paper. And I caught it. Oh, well. Do I have red on me?